Hi, folks. It's time for Global Tarot Circle. We're about 1 minute away from our start time, and people will start to come into the room very soon. Today is June 5th, 2019. If you're watching in archive, either on YouTube or, hey, Leisha, you're the first one here, so glad you're here. If you're watching in archive, either on YouTube or here on Facebook, I appreciate your being here as well. If we're in archive, we're not going to be able to answer your questions. Nilsa's here. Hey, so happy that you're here. Wow, the room went from like zero to a bunch of people all at once. I won't be able to say hi to everyone, but I'm seeing you come in, and I am so glad you're here. Amy, my friend from Portland, glad you're here. And thank you, everyone, so much for being here. Hey, Michael Wells, I was hoping to see you here tonight. Okay. So it is officially 7 o'clock. It's our start time. Lisa, glad you're here. And so let's go over what's going to happen here tonight. And then I'm going to do just a little bit of shameless self-promotion, and then we'll get going with our readings. And I see people coming in here from all over the world, and that's why we're a global tarot circle. So for the first half hour, from 7 to 7:30, or from the top of the hour to the half past hour, wherever you happen to be in the world, we'll be doing readings. Okay, so those of you who have your tarot decks with you, you get to play. The way it works is if you have a question, you can go ahead and ask it. Excuse me. Wow, I don't think that's ever happened live before, but hey, it's live. What are you going to do? Okay, allergies. There it is. Okay, so if you have a burning question, and that could be a question for a reading, a question about your life, something you'd like to ask a room full of tarot readers, go ahead and put your question in, but please, just one question per person, please. Don't double dip. We're going to try to get to as many people as we can. If I miss you, and thank you for blessing me, Terry, I appreciate that. I see a question from Nilsa. I think that's our first question. We'll start with that question in just a moment. So if you have a question, type it in. Those of you with tarot decks, Nilsa, thank you for blessing me. I appreciate that. Please, if you have a tarot deck, go ahead and play along. If you are receiving a reading, I'll start the reading, but the rest of the reading happens in the comment thread. So make sure you read the thread to get the rest of your reading and interact with the other people here in the room. I think it's very cool. We're all over the world, but we're also all in the same room. How great is that? And if you have a question about tarot, about a particular card, about a reading you did, about how to do a reading, you can go ahead and type that in too. We'll address it. Once we get to about the bottom of the hour, we'll then go into discussion about tarot, and we have some fun topics that we're going to work with. So very quickly, before we get started, I just want to do 2 seconds of shameless self-promotion. At the end, I'm going to ask the rest of you to do shameless self-promotion as well. First of all, right here in my Palm City office, this Sunday, we're doing this class, Clarity in Every Card, from 4 to 6. This is about using context, keywords, and intuition all together to give a great tarot reading. We still have seats, so please sign up. You may know, or you may not know, that my 2 books are now available, Fortune Stellar and Tarot Tour Guide. They're available on Amazon. They're also available directly from me on my website or in person. And finally, I will be in Connecticut, June 12th through the 25th. If you would like to see me for a private reading, a house call, or a house party, go ahead. I still have some time available, not a lot, but some. Go ahead and reach out to me, and we'll make that happen. And we will give an opportunity at the end for everyone to do their shameless self-promotion. Julia is congratulating me, and I appreciate that. Okay, I am scrolling back to get started with readings. Those of you who have your cards ready, Get ready to go. This moves quickly. Let's have some fun. Okay, we're starting with Nilsa. She wants to know how her boyfriend is feeling about their relationship. So here's how it works. If you would like to read for Nilsa, type in her name, Nilsa, Nilsa, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation, please. Okay, and I will start there. Nilsa. 8 of Wands, he doesn't know where it's going. He doesn't know where the relationship is going. I think he has a great deal of passion for you. I think he cares about you. I think he feels like you have a nice energy together, but he doesn't know where it's going. Okay, if you want to read for Nilsa, go ahead. Okay, Michael Wells, putting in for a new job. Any vibes? Will Michael get his new job? What do we think about the new job? Will it happen? If you would like to read for Michael, go ahead, put in his name. Michael, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. The Empress. I think you're likely to get it, and I think it will be a very, very good job for you. You yourself, Michael, are a very nurturing person. You like to help people. I think this job will allow you to do that. That is fabulous. Okay. Very good. Amy congratulates me on my cute sneeze. Well, that's good because it could have been so much worse, live and everything. So, yeah, we got through that one. Okay, good. Okay, Terry. Terry's going to Michigan next week and is handicapped. Will she make this trip okay? If you got a question, and remember, if you're answering, if you're doing readings, make sure you put the name of the person the reading is for so people can see, because we're reading for a lot of people at once, and I appreciate all of you participating. Okay, for Terry, how's she going to do on her trip? If you'd like to read for Terry, put in her name, Terry, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. How will Terry do on her trip? 10 of Swords, man, it's not going to be easy. But remember, with the 10 of Swords, a lot of the issue is mental. Remember, the swords are our thoughts, our fears, our worries. And so there will be issues, there will be pain, there will be problems, but you will make it better by not worrying about it. Make sure you've got your butt covered. You're doing what you need to do, but try not to add mental anguish to all of this. Let's see what other people get regarding this trip for Terry. Linda Rogers, so nice to see you here. My new job starts on the 17th of June. Congratulations. How will it go? Will I like it? Let's take a look. If you'd like to read for Linda, put in her name, Linda, Linda. And the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Will she like her new job? How will it go? The Knight of Swords, I think it will go extremely well. I think time will pass quickly. I think you will learn a lot. I think you're very equal to the task. I think that there is opportunity for growth. I think that you will be respected. I feel good about it. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Amy Mauser, what does the universe want me to know? You guys know this is my favorite question, and it's a trick question because it really is sort of looking for that general reading. What does the universe want me to know? If you would, but teachable moment. For those of you who are afraid of general readings, if someone says, oh, just tell me what you see, that's the question you ask in your head. What does the universe want this person to know? And then suddenly it does not feel like a general reading anymore. Okay, for Amy, if you'd like to read for Amy, go ahead and put in her name, Amie. What does the universe want her to know? Go ahead and give the card you got and your interpretation. Amy, the 7 of Pentacles reversed. It has been work, stress for a long time. But because this card is reversed, there is some reprieve. Hang in there, take a breath, things will get better. Leisha, Question, been feeling weird. Is the universe changing energy-wise? Okay, so why is Leisha feeling weird? What's the energy shift going on around him? If you would like to read for Leisha, go ahead and put in his name, Leisha, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. And those of you who we're reading for, make sure you read through the comment thread and respond to people to get the rest of your reading. I'm just starting with the first card. Okay. What's up for Leisha? Seven of Swords reversed. It's nothing bad. It's nothing terrible. You may find that what is changing is your own energy. You may be finding that you are more clearly seeing the truth, and that can be disturbing. Let's see what other people say. Okay, my good friend Julia, how are you doing today? Glad you're here. What does the universe want Julia to know? If you'd like to read for Julia, go ahead and put in her name, Julia, Julia, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want Julia to know? The moon. So, there's a lot here. Hey, Liz Moore, I was hoping we were going to see you in Palm City on Sunday. We miss you, but I'm happy to see you here. Okay, Julia, the moon. There are many, many mysteries. There are many things that you can't see how they're going to go. It could feel a little weird. You may not be sure what to trust, but find your spiritual strength. Your whole family is very spiritual. Find the strength in your own spiritual nature and you will be fine. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Okay. Lots of readings going on. I really appreciate that. Okay, Betsy Young, glad to see you. We're having a hard time finding a house. Is the right house in our near future? Will Betsy and Jim find their house? If you would like to read for Betsy, go ahead and put her name in, Betsy, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Okay, let's see what we got going on for Betsy. Eight of Pentacles reversed. It's going to take a minute. You are looking for exactly the right house. You're fine where you are for the moment. Don't force it. It will happen. Oh, and that is interesting because Terry just got another 8, and it's the quick 8 that it'll happen soon. So I think that's helpful. And you know what? If we got 2 8s, maybe that means it will happen in August. Hey, Tracy, glad you're here. Julia Bonesteel found us. We've got 2 Julias here today. Okay, let's see. Lots of readings going on. Okay, Annie Lemaster. I'm thinking about moving to another country. What does the universe have to tell me about this? If you would like to read for Annie, go ahead and put her name in, ANI. Moving to another country, what comes up about that? The world reversed. So very often, I see the world having to do with an international travel or moving internationally. The fact that it came up reversed may indicate there will be some delay there or that it may not go exactly as you think. Let's see what other people have to say about your move internationally. Okay, let's see what we got. And thank you to everyone who's participating by giving readings. Really appreciate it. And you can see this is very, very good practice. Hey, Kimberly Essex, so glad you're here. Okay, here's the question from Kimberly. I recently decided to disconnect with an ex-boyfriend on social media, and immediately after I saw he connected with a newish good friend of mine on Facebook and Instagram. I asked her about the connection, and she said they don't know each other. What do I need to know about it to avoid getting hurt? Ooh, okay. So, what's going on here? Is the ex-boyfriend using the friend of Kimberly to spy on her? Is Kimberly's friend not being honest? What do we think is going on with this situation? If you would like to ring in on this, just put her name, Kimberly, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What is going on here? The Four of Swords. Nothing that you need to worry about. You just stay in your lane and do your thing. It will be fine. That's what I think. Let's see what other people have. Okay. Hey, Terry, T-E-R-I, Terry. Terry, who's right here local to me. Glad you're here. Lots of readings going on. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Looking for questions. Hey, Lisa Bailey, my good tarot friend. How are you doing? We are thinking about going to Switzerland, Austria next. How do you see our planning going with a tour group that friends have used? So, for Lisa Bailey, a possible trip for her and her sweetheart, John, going to Switzerland, Austria. How's that going to go? Is that a good idea? If you'd like to read for her, please put her name, Lisa Bailey. I think we have more than one Lisa here, not sure. The cards you got and your answer. Let's see what we've got going on. Four of Pentacles reversed. No, it's not reversed. I don't know why I said reversed. It's just the Four of Pentacles. But the fact that I said that does put sort of a, I wonder if my sense of dignity on this card is such. Four of Pentacles says, be careful about the amount of money you're going to spend, and you might find that you will be in very cramped quarters. Check it out thoroughly before you go. However, I will say I also associate this card with safety, so I feel like it would be a safe trip for you. Okay, let's see what we got next. Hey, Christine Claire, how are you? What does my soul want me to know? Very good question. If you would like to read for Christine Claire, go ahead and put in her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Let's see what we got going on. Three of Cups reversed. I feel like you're not having enough fun. I don't know if that's an attitude issue, if it's a time issue, if there's something going on that is making it hard for you to find your joy. But I would say you need to seek joy regardless. Okay. And thank you to everyone for doing readings. This is great. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Rogerio, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. What the world want me to know? What does the universe want him to know? Okay, if you would like to read for him, please put his name in. That's Rogerio. What do we got here? Judgment. There is something from the past that you need to put closure to, my friend. Whatever it is, it's over. You did the best you could. Now look on to the future. It is time for a bright new chapter. Okay. Hey, Cynthia Doucette, nice to see you here. Okay, lots of readings going on. Okay, Dee Dunkley, nice to see you. Remember to put people's names. We've got a lot of readings going on. If you've done a reading and you haven't put someone's name in, please go back in and edit their name in. Dee, Julia, for both of you, try to remember to put people's names in. You've got great readings in there, but we can't see who they're for. Okay, Carrie, I will be applying for a paying apprenticeship position. Any news? Okay, again, if you would like to read for Carrie, put her name in, Kari. The name of the card you got and your interpretation. What do we see about this paying apprenticeship? Magician reversed. Okay, we're going to do some magic together because we know that you really want this. And the fact that the Magician came up reversed says to me that the energies may not be such that you will get this, and I apologize for that, but let us all join together in turning this card right side up. Had I received this card right side up, I would say absolutely yes. So let's just bring that energy in. Okay. And I'm just taking a note here because that is a teachable moment. And someone in our Global Tarot Circle group on Facebook asked about how do you give bad news? And that was a teachable moment. I didn't like the card I got, but, you know, Rachel Pollack herself says that when you invert a card, you are creating magic. It's a magical act. So that's one way of giving bad news. Give what you see, but then change the energy to try to invite a better outcome. That's one way of doing it. Okay. Hey, Cameron, so nice to see you. Feeling scattered and directionless career-wise. Would love a card to help get me pointed in the right direction to grow my career. Alrighty then, let's see what we got going on here. If you would like to read for Cameron, please put her name in, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Scattered and directionless career-wise. What would point her in the right direction? Oh gosh. You know how it happens sometimes? The tarot will just sort of put an exclamation point on the question. So here we have the Hanged Man reversed, which is all about taking control. It says to me that you really do know what you want. Maybe you're afraid to go for it. Just take control. Stop hanging around and make it happen. Hopefully, other cards that come up may clarify a little bit more. Okay. Very good. Let's see what we got going on. Okay. Hey, Terry Daly Comeen. I see you putting names in. Try to put the names in first so we can see it when we're going through. Thank you so much, and thanks for participating. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. Cynthia Doucette, is there anything we can tell her about her son? So, third-party reading. Not everyone is a fan of third-party readings, but I sure am. So as long as it's not hurtful, as long as it's helpful, and I think in this case it's helpful. So if you'd like to read for Cynthia, what can we see about her son? And it's important to recognize another teachable moment. She hasn't told us what the problem is. She hasn't told us how old he is. You know, so context is an issue. If he's 5 and you get a relationship card, that's going to be different than if he's 30, you know? So since we don't know, let's interpret it the best way our intuition allows us to. What can we say about Cynthia's son? If you want to read for her, her name, Cynthia, the name of the card, and your interpretation. What can we say about her son? 4 of Wands. I see safety and security here. He will be fine. If you are worried about him, he will be fine. Okay. Hey, Sherelle. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? I hope that I am. Please let us know if I am not. I'm planning my first yoga retreat for December 10th through 15th. Will I have a good turnout? If you would like to read for Sherelle, Sharelle, go ahead, pull a card, give her name, the name of the card, and your interpretation. And, you know, I think we have more readers and more new readers to Global Tarot Circle here than we have ever had before. And a big round of applause for all of you. You're all doing great. I really, really appreciate it. And let's see what we got going on for Sherelle. Judgment, get the word out. Let people know what's going on, and you will indeed have a good turnout, but you've got to market it. Okay. Okay, go ahead as you do your reading. Make sure you give the person's name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Very good. Let's see what we got going on here. Hey, Brenda Elizabeth, so nice to see you here. I used those great cards you gave me teaching a class yesterday, and I thought about you the whole time. Thank you so much. And I see you got judgment for Rogerio as well. Do you interpret it the same way I did, or do you have a different interpretation? Let us know. Okay. Okay, and Dee's comment was for Terry regarding her trip. So if you go back, take a look, Terry Daly Comeen, more information from Dee Dunkley, one of the best astrologers I've ever met, I got to tell you, regarding your trip. Lots of readings going on. David Victor, glad you're here. Okay, lots of readings. Okay, Bridget, what do I need to know about business? And we are coming to like the last 5 minutes of our readings. We will get to as many people as we possibly can. And again, I thank you all for being here. And you guys have been 100% good about not double dipping. So thank you. That is fabulous. Okay, Bridget, what do I need to know about business? If you would like to read for Bridget, go ahead and put in her name, Bridget, the name of the card you got, your interpretation. What does she need to know about business? Ace of Cups. Man, I think things are going to flow. There's a lot of love here. Maybe that's love for you. Maybe that's love for your work. But I think there's a lot of new opportunity and a lot of flow. It feels good to me. Hey, well done, people. I see a lot of great readings. Let's see, just going through. Terry, we love you so much. Terry Daly Comeen, we all mess up. I freaking sneezed. It's all good. We love you. Okay, and Cameron says that hangman reversed actually did resonate for her. Thank goodness. And more cards coming in. Okay. Lots of readings going on. You guys are awesome. Looking to see if there are more questions before we move on to our workshop portion of our program. This is right now the last call for questions. Last call for questions. Anyone have? Terry loves me too. Yay. You guys are doing such a good job doing readings. Okay, this will be perhaps our final question for Julia Bonesteel, my good friend. So happy to see her here. What is the barrier to my son George getting a job? Okay, so clearly George is having a hard time getting a job. What's the problem? What does he need to do? If you would like to read, and this is for Julia B, not Julia Q. If you would like to read for Julia, go ahead and put in her name and the name of the card you got, your interpretation. What's going on with George getting a job? The Four of Cups reversed, he may have a little bit of an attitude. And even if he's not communicating his attitude, he may be subtly communicating it, and that may be a problem. Do some work with him. You're so good with, oils and incense and candles and all of that. Do some work to change his energy. It should help a lot. Liz Moore, you lost your tarot card. So here's the story with Liz Moore. She was coming to tarot meetups and being really good with tarot interpretations, but not having cards, borrowing cards, which is perfectly fine. But we kept saying, Liz, get your own cards. She finally got cards and now she can't find them. So this will be perhaps our last question. Where are Liz's cards? If you have a clue of where Liz's cards are, go ahead. Her name, Liz, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation, where are Liz's cards? The Tower reversed. They are somewhere in your house where you have not, where you've just put stuff and haven't done any cleaning. They're in a disorganized place. Maybe a closet, maybe a drawer. You'll find them. Okay, there was one more question going through. We'll go ahead and do it for David. Is it David? Is that right? David Victor, is that right? I saw it go by, but then I don't see it again. But I think that's correct. He wants to know what his problem is with getting a job. What is blocking him from getting a job? Yes, David Victor. Okay, so this will be our final question. If you'd like to read for David, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation, what the heck is going on with him getting a job. 3 of Cups reversed. Either this is making you sad or something else is making you sad. Turn your energy around, and I think you'll get exactly what you're looking for. Okay, so you can finish looking at and reading, getting all of your readings. This is where we really have to do some multitasking. We're not going to do any new readings, but readings are still happening. So go ahead and finish up those readings. And if you're still receiving readings, make sure you can look and respond. And, let's try to do more than one thing at the same time. And the first topic we're going to talk about is giving bad news. If you are reading for others, and you see something, as we have been doing here, you see something that is less than positive. Oh my gosh, Kimberly also got the Tower reversed for Liz, as I did too, in terms of where her tarot cards are. How cool is that? Okay, the question is, how do you give news that is other than your client would like to hear? Now, I showed you an example of trying to do magic, trying to change the energy. Hey, Sherelle, come this Sunday. She says she's in Miami, wants to come to a class. This is a great class and there is still room. Miami's a little bit of a hike, but not too bad. I'd do it. I go to Miami all the time. Clarity in every card. This Sunday, reach out to me. Would love to get you in. Okay, see, there was that shameless self-promotion right there. Okay. So giving news that is other than what we would like to hear. The first thing you got to do is do it gently. The second thing you have to do is find what's positive. There's always something positive. Sometimes I will even pull a card to say, tell me how to help this client. The client doesn't know what I'm asking. Just, tell me how to help this client and pull a card. Sometimes I will look at the spiritual question of, okay, if this is the way it's going, why is it going this way? What do we need to learn from? So supplying questions that can lead us to a positive, not a positive outcome, but an uplifting message. We may not always be able to give the news the clients want, but we can always find a way to give an uplifting message. So if you have any hints or ideas about how to give a message that is not going to be appreciated, go ahead and type it in. And there are some clients who just won't hear it. They have it in their own head. And what I say there is you can't do the fight. You can't get into a back and forth. If you're not sure, you can say, well, it could go either way. It could. And remember, we're going to be talking about future predictions in a few moments. We have to remember that the future isn't really set. And one of the things that we'll talk about as regards future predictions is the idea that, and I'm curious to know what you think about this. For me, there are some things I am so sure of, I would stake my entire reputation on. There are other things I feel like, 70-30, or maybe even 50-50, or, hey, this is a possibility, but it may or may not happen. Do you guys do that too? Do you feel things in degrees, either from 100% to 0 or what's in between? How do you figure out that scale? And I think that being able to figure out that scale and being able to communicate that is important. Now, in terms of how to give unappreciated news, from my good friend Joanne Matthew, I would draw a card or two asking, how can we make this better or easier? Right, right, absolutely. How can we mitigate this? Yeah, absolutely. So if you have any other thoughts on that, Cameron says, I do the same thing, Christiana. I pull cards asking what will support them or what they can do to affect the situation in a positive way. Yeah, absolutely. And I think there are some readers who are not comfortable asking questions for the client. They want all the questions to come from the client. And I say, as readers, we have a right to also supply the questions. And that, I believe, is part of our intuitive process as well. Julie Langdon Barrett, my good friend. Sometimes I'm freaking sure, and other times I call odds literally. Yeah, I do the same thing. And that leads us into our conversation about predicting the future. And it is true that there are some readers who are not predictive readers. They just don't do future predictions. And I think it is best to not have focusing on future predictions be the most important thing. I think we have to look at options and activity, what a client can actually do. Susan, nice to see you here. I look at how many cards support a certain outcome. The more pertinent cards, the more likely. Yes, yes, yes. Same. Joanne says, I ask a lot of questions, especially if the client seems confused. It helps them find exactly what they're really asking. Yes. And Cameron agrees, our job is to help supply the questions. Definitely. Very good. So, why is it, do you think, that sometimes we can see an absolute future coming like a freight train and sometimes we can't? And Margaret, I'm so glad you're here. We are done with readings this time around. The rest of our time is devoted to tarot study, and I hope you'll join us for that. Okay. So, why is it that sometimes we can see the future dead on and sometimes we can't? I have experienced great feelings of guilt about this, that things I wish I could have seen, I didn't, and other things I see quite clearly. And Julia says, well, maybe the client is not sure themselves. Sure, if it's not known, it's not known. And I have to say, I think that there are some universal safeguards. There are some things we're meant to know and other things we're not meant to know. There are some things that will definitely happen and some things where maybe it will, maybe it won't. There is free will. So from Julie, I try to look at how the bad news might in fact be good news. Perspective change. Yes, I love it. Or how delays could be in their favor. What they could do to turn it around in the meantime. What other positive things could come of it. Yes, exactly. Hey, my friend Mark Ryder. I think there is an energy that we tap into that wants the seeker to know what's coming. Right. And don't you think there are some things that we need to know what's coming and other things we're better off not knowing? And there really might be some safeguard there. Joanne says, I think if it's not clear, it's because the situation isn't a perfect solution and it needs deeper investigation. Yes. Terry says, have you ever just stopped the reading because it keeps getting worse? No, I never have. I have always, in 25 years of professional reading, full time, I have always found a way to end with a positive message. Now, it may not be that what they want is going to happen, but the message is always positive at the end. From Cameron, when I do predictions, I'm usually wrong. So I'm not sure if that's a matter of my intuition not being well enough keyed in, or if it's just not what I'm supposed to be doing. Interesting. And here's my question. Have you done a great deal of predictions for yourself? just working on like mundane stuff, one thing a day, just trying to see how the cards speak to you. I think that can be a practice that will help you learn to tune into that intuition. Anna Luisa, maybe we're only shown things that we can work on, enjoy, or change. Sure. Julie says the important words, free will. I think it's free will. It can also be a lesson the client must learn themselves. We are just not meant to hand them the answer. Heck yeah, absolutely true. Joanne says, no, there is always a way to find a path for the client to follow or think about without leaving it at a losing point. Agreed. So I really agree with a lot of what people are saying here. Now, when we talk about predictions, one of the things that we often end up predicting, and this was a question from Mark Ryder, timing. How the heck do we do timing? And I will tell you right off the bat that timing is my worst thing. And it's funny because there are some things I've gotten spot on in terms of the timing, but others not. What are your techniques for doing timing? Julia says, our picture of a positive result is not the result they truly need. Higher power has a different perspective. Amen, sister. Word. Cameron says, I've done predictions for myself and a friend, but not on a daily basis. That's a good idea. I'll give it a try. Thanks. Yeah, let us know how it goes. Kimberly, I approach predictions like they are changeable. So if it's negative, I ask if they'd like to explore how to avoid or lessen the outcome. Usually this focuses on them taking some action, though. So if someone seems resistant, I've also asked, so do you want to know what will happen if you do nothing? Hey, yeah, that's a good way of handling it. I love it. And Christine says, that's a great idea. I'm going to implement that tomorrow, doing the daily predictions. Yeah, in the beginning, that really helped me. I did it every single day and really started to learn, writing it down, what cards you got, what your prediction was, then what really happened. And what you find yourself saying is, oh, that's what that card meant. And then you know how the cards are speaking to you. Okay, so what about timing? Now, I am really good with cards that say fast or slow, like the Knight of Swords or the Eight of Wands will say it's happening swiftly. The Knight of Pentacles may say it's going to be slow. Cameron about timing says, I haven't done timing much, so I'd be curious to see what other folks have to say. Very good. Joanne, there are many variables for timing. The number on the card, the season. I think there's a lot of intuition involved in determining timing. Yes, absolutely. And also according to the actual situation, whether it's usually a quick fix or one that normally takes time. Susan goes along with that. I base timing on circumstances coming together, not days, weeks, or months. So it will happen when whatever happens. And so you pull cards to see what those whatevers are going to be. Is that what you mean, Susan? I do that as well. I like that. For Kimberly, timing. I will break the expected time period into manageable pieces, days, weeks, months, and then pull a card for each day or week or month. I've done that too, and that can work. Julie says, I only get timing with my intuition. It pops into my head, not through the cards, except the Eight of Wands. So here's what I don't do. There is the ascribing of suits to different periods of time, like wands or weeks, cups or months, and then the number is however many of those there are. That's never worked for me. I've also never found it work that a particular suit is a particular season. That does work for some people. But here's what I do. I will use the number on the card to say which month it is. So 8 is August, 9 is September. That sometimes works. Let's see. Kimberly, recently I did a reading for someone who wanted to move next spring, but wasn't sure about exactly when. That was about 9 or 10 week cards. Got it. And Susan says that yes, I understood what she did, and I think that works too. Bridget says, I asked specific questions within 3 months, etc. So will this happen within 3 months? Or what will we see within 3 months? So including the time frame in the question, that's a way to do it too. Okay. Now, a couple of other questions that have come up, And if you're wondering where we got these questions, we do have a Facebook group. It's not a terribly active group. It can be as active as you want it to be. It's called Global Tarot Circle. And basically, we use it to share exercises from this group. We share, after we're done here, you can go there and share whatever exercises we do. But mostly we use it to announce the meetings and to collect questions for the meetings. So if you want to join, just find Global Tarot Circle, the group, on Facebook, and I'll let you in. Okay. And Julie, Four of Swords, not happening anytime soon. Yeah, no doubt. No freaking doubt. Absolutely. So another question that came up is about what I call tarot dialogues. This is, I came to it intuitively. Other people may do it too. I derived this on the spot, the very first psychic fair I ever worked, as a way of answering people's questions. And because I found, I did my opening spread, my 11 card Celtic Cross. I've started with that spread. I still do it all these years later. I love it. I love it so much. It's in both of my books. And I've got a teachable class on it. In my very small Teachable Academy, it only has 2 classes, but they're growing. cardandcraftacademy.com if you're curious. So I'll start with that spread, but then I do what I call a dialogue technique. I do teach this technique also in my book, Tarot Tour Guide, and any other time or opportunity I get. And the idea is you ask a question. Hey, Miranda, nice to see you here. You ask a question and just pull one card in answer and see if that card answers it. If it doesn't, you can pull as many more cards as intuition tells you so you can see the story unfold. That may bring another question to you, either logically or because of what you see in the cards. Shuffle those cards back in and ask your next question doing the same process. The reason you want to shuffle the cards in is it allows the same card to come up multiple times. That won't happen in every dialogue session, but it will happen in many of them. And that, gives you a really strong clue. So try playing with the dialogue and see how that works for you. It is not a replacement for a spread, but it is something that you can do after a spread or when there are specific questions. Hey, Rhea, thank you. I feel fabulous. So nice to see you. I'm coming to Connecticut next week. Tell your friends. I'm glad you're here. Okay. So here's the next question. The next question is about the spirits that work through tarot. What are your spiritual views about tarot? The Golden Dawn believed that the angel Heru presides over tarot. I sort of feel like the universe speaks through tarot, but I also feel that our loved ones in spirit can speak through the cards as well, particularly when we ask them. You're in Kentucky now. Oh my goodness. Well, happy to see you, and I hope you're enjoying Kentucky. That's cool. Okay. So, who speaks through the cards? What do you guys think? Some people even sort of personify the cards to the point that they believe the cards themselves are speaking. And I know we say that. We say, what did the cards say? But I don't really believe that the cards themselves are speaking. I believe that spirit speaks through the cards. But what are your thoughts about that? And do you feel that the quality of the reading changes depending on it? Terry says her spirit guides speak through the cards. Kimberly says the collective unconscious. Joanne says, I believe it's the universe working with my own intuition, and when it's about myself, my own spirits are always there with me. Cameron says, I feel like it's the wisdom of the collective consciousness speaking through the cards. So we've got a lot of similar thoughts here. Now, I will say this. I believe that the reading will be most powerful when we do an invocation before a reading, asking our spirit guides to come through, asking the guides of the person we're reading for to come through. Bridget said guides and loved ones. I agree. Absolutely. Hey, Uma Elizabeth, nice to see you. Spirit guides, ancestors, and our own higher self. Very good. Mark Ryder echoes that. My higher self works with their higher self to help pull and interpret the cards. I agree. Julie says, I feel spirit guides of mine and the client. Sometimes angels show up and I will ask specific people, the soul of. Absolutely. Joanne says, as they say, the cards are just cardboard. It's what comes through to us through the cards that tell the story. I absolutely agree. So very good thoughts. Anna Luisa, to me, the cards are conduits different spirits speak through. And some cards attract different speakers. That's an interesting thought, that different cards attract different spirits. Very interesting. Christine, I'm definitely a universe kind of girl. I love the idea of an invocation and would really welcome spirit guides and ancestors. That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, in our last 10 minutes, I think it would be fun to do an exercise or a reading for ourselves. So let's see, let's do this one. Since we're talking about tarot reading and we're talking about the spirits that speak through the cards, what if we do this exercise? What if we each pull one card for ourselves? And here's the question. How can I better invoke and attune to the spirits that work through me to give more empowered readings? How can I empower my readings with spirit even more? One card, share with us what you get and your interpretation. Let's see what we've got here. The Page of Swords. So for me, the Page of Swords is all about communication. And so it's really just asking. But the Page of Swords for me so often is about writing that I really feel like I need to write more about this topic. Very often when I write about something, I think about it and I think about new things and learn new things from that. So go ahead and share your exercise as you do it and let us know. Kimberly says, I've called in my grandmother before reading and have recently started naming her and also her 4 sisters, who include a tea leaf reader and a palm reader. Oh my gosh, Kimberly, you are definitely a hereditary healer. Julie, 10 of Swords. What a great lesson in reading in context. What could the 10 of Swords mean? I would say, don't be afraid of your own pain. You know, I had a situation yesterday where I was reading for someone and the situation was very close to a situation I'm dealing with in my own life. And it was like coming right up with my own pain. And I really had to breathe and work through it to do a reading for this person. And it ended up being a great reading, but it was like the first time in my career, I was like, God, I don't know if I can do this. This is so close to me. But I was able to do it. And I think that's what the 10 of Swords is about. That there are readings, Julie, that will trigger your own pain. Go through that, not away from that. And that will empower your readings. Let's see what else we've got here. Joanne, Ace of Cups. Not sure if I put too much or not enough emotion into the reading. I would say open your heart chakra. Ace of Cups can be the heart chakra. Breathe into the heart chakra. Okay, let's see. Terry, I got the 2 of Cups. That's a union. So really ask for a union of you and your guides. Kimberly, the question is, what can I do? Kimberly Essex, the question is, what can I do to empower my readings more? Kimberly Bonk, so nice to see you here. Four of Swords reverse, get out of my own way. Uma Elizabeth, Knight of Swords reverse, which I interpret as meditating beforehand to quiet my busy mind. Absolutely. Christine, Strength, what do you think about that? Mark, Six of Wands, tell us what you think. Hey, Irene, good to see you. When you tell us what cards you got, give us your interpretation as well. If you're not sure, put in a question mark and I'll give my thoughts. For Christine's Strength, I would say tame your own anger and fear. For Mark, Six of Wands, recognize your own power. Irene, Knight of Cups, always come at it from love and call in an ancestor, a loving ancestor. David, Emperor, not sure what that means. An ascended master is helping me? I'd go with that. Absolutely. Cameron, Six of Swords. Focus on being the vehicle for the information, not the source of the information. Hallelujah. Yes. Yes. Anna Louisa, Nine of Cups. Always remember to read having the sitter as your point of focus. You're trying to show a way for them to teach their goals and happiness. It's about them. Good. Michael, Knight of Pentacles reversed. Quit worrying about the money and quit worrying so much about process and about being right. Just do it. Okay, so Christine says, I'm really not sure. I would say you may have opinions. Get out of your opinions and let the energy flow. Kimberly, Sun reversed. Look at the shadow. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Mark, Six of Wands. I need to accept that I can do a good reading every time. No more performance anxiety. That's what I thought. Hey, Lisa McCord, Justice. This does not resonate. It would reverse. I don't trust my intuition enough and I weigh too many possibilities. So even if a card is not reversed, if you feel the ill dignity of it, go ahead and read it that way. Julia Bonastile, Six of Cups, reversed. This may have to do with a loving ancestor as well. Amy Turnasol, Ace of Wands, not sure how to interpret. For that, I would say, oh, and Christine says that resonates. Okay, cool. Ace of Wands, I would say attune yourself to the energy of fire, very specifically. Bring spiritual fire through you in order to do a good reading. Okay, so this is an exercise that we can continue on our group page, if you like. Bridget is wondering about the Queen of Swords reversed. Do not be attached to being right, number one. And maybe you have a bitchy relative in spirit who is happy to speak through you. Okay, as we come to the end of our time together, this is the time for shameless self-promotion. Go ahead, if you have a website, if you have a Facebook page, if you have a product, whatever you have, go ahead and put it in the comments. Let us support each other. Tell us what you do and what you can do for us. I will remind you that I am available for readings by phone, Skype, FaceTime, Messenger, and right here in my Palm City office. Very often I am also in Connecticut, where I am available for readings in Madison at True Bikram Yoga, and also to come to your home in Connecticut for house parties and visits. I also want to let you know that I do mentoring, where we can deeply work together wherever you are in your tarot practice. If it's about learning tarot, if it's about becoming a better reader, if it's about building your tarot business, wherever you are, I can work with you to help get you to the next level. So reach out and ask me about my mentoring package. Again, I want to remind those of you in the area about Clarity in Every Card coming up this Sunday. And Mark says, I do great mentoring. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And again, remember, my books are now available. Okay, so we've got a lot going on here. Michael's Facebook page, Cameron's website, Julie's Facebook page. Go ahead, let's like each other's pages. Let's support each other in that way. And let me remind you that we meet here for Global Tarot Circle once a month. I just realized I don't have our next date yet for July, but I will, and I'll put it up as soon as I can. And go ahead. We see more shameless self-promotion going on here. And please do not hesitate to promote yourself often. And Julia says, I love the new covers of your books. Thank you very much. Stephen Bright is my artist. And the books are updated. There are 100 new pages in Fortune Stellar. So if you do not have the new Fortune Stellar, you might consider getting it. Tarot Tour Guide is not as changed. It's only gently changed. But again, if you haven't read these books, please do consider it. And we have lots more going on. We've got Mark's webpage. We've got Christine's. Oh, Michael, thank you. Sharmic Treasures, I will call them tomorrow. It slipped my mind and I feel like an a-hole because of it. Thank you so much. I will connect with them and I really do appreciate it. So thank you for that reminder. I was just thinking about that today. We've got Kim's webpage. We've got a lot of people's web pages, Facebook pages. That's a fabulous thing. Thank you all so much for being here. And if you're watching an archive, thank you for being here as well. I will look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you all so very much. Take good care, and we will see you again.